Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Darren Ganji, and I'm here with the second of two post-race recaps from the 2015 iRace4Life seminar that took place on March 5th and 6th of this year. And this is going to cover the oval portion of the tournaments. There were 3 total races that took place. First up, we had a 30-minute timed race at California Speedway in the B class or Xfinity cars. 20 drivers started the race that would end up going 38 laps with only 1 caution flag. And I caught up with all 3 podium finishers for a post-race interview, so I'll let them tell you how things unfolded. And first up, we have Michael Main, who started on the pole and had himself a great battle. All right, so I'm here with the 3rd place finisher from the second tournament race of the day at California Speedway B Cup car, Michael Main. Michael, thanks for joining me.
Thanks.
Congratulations on your 3rd place finish there.
Thank you.
Now, it's been a while since that race took place because now there's another race that we're going to talk about too. Do you remember what happened during that race?
I got the pole, ran the fastest lap. Even before in practice, I beat my best lap in practice. I don't know, started leading a few laps, decided to let Hoon get in front of me.
Okay.
And followed him for a little while so I could save my tires a little bit. And then Landing joined the fray.
The parade?
Yeah, I think he started in the back. And,
he did. I think he started. Yeah, he started a little bit back there.
Worked himself up to the front, and so it was a 3-car battle. And I think by the time Landon actually caught us, I was back in the lead and just trying to save tires. And then somehow Hoon got around me, and I just decided I was going to let them duke it out for a little while. I was going to save my tires and wait till, well, it was a timed race. It wasn't even a full race because there was a caution.
Right, there was one caution flag during the race.
So I was watching the timer, and then when I finally decided it was time to go, like 2 laps into my hot lap run, I dinged the wall coming out of 2. It didn't kill it, but I just lost too much time from then. And ended up finishing 3rd.
What was the prize? Do you remember?
iRacing credits and a raffle ticket.
Oh, right on. Very cool. Next up, we have Landon Harrison, who started all the way at the back of the pack and made his way up to 2nd place. And here's what Landon had to say about it. I'm here with Landon Harrison. Landon, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
You were in a battle with Michael Main and Gary Hume. It was a pretty tight battle, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a lot of passing. I got in too late, so I missed qualifying. So I had to start, I think it was 19th.
I think it was 20 cars?
Yeah, something like that. It was
right
last car on the grid. So I just kind of started conservatively and make sure I got some clean passes in, saved my tires, and we had a caution there, I think. So I passed a few people before then, was able to catch back up, and then the last 75% of the race was all green. So I just, methodically got by every car and was up there battling with those other 2 drivers in the end.
Well, good job. Check out this photo finish with Gary Hume. And our winner from the first race, Gary Hume, who started on the outside of the front row. Okay, I'm here with Gary Hume. Gary, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Darren.
Gary won the 2nd tournament race at California Speedway it was a B class car, right?
B car, fixed setup, yes sir.
So, 2nd tournament race, and you won $100 iRacing credits.
Yeah,
that's
pretty cool.
Nice little bonus for you.
That is, yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the race. Where'd you start on the grid?
I qualified 2nd outside Michael Mann. Started on the pole. And, he and I were pretty consistent throughout the race. I just followed in his tracks for most of the race. Tried to save our stuff, just run consistent laps, and got lucky there at the end.
So when did you get by him? There was a caution, right? About 15 or so in?
Yeah, about 8 or 9 in. We had a caution. He and I both went in and got 4 tires, and I think we had about 3 guys that stayed out. they didn't really get a good start on, going into one. So Mike and I were able to use the 4 tires to our advantage and got right by them, and were able to get back out front and just kind of coast, so to speak, for a little while.
So, when did you make the pass set on Michael? Because he was leading for a while.
Yeah,
were you able to before the caution or after the caution?
It was after the caution.
Okay.
It was about lap 32, somewhere right in that area.
40-lap race, right?
It was a 40-lap race. So about 32, he finally made a slight little mistake coming off of 2, pushed it a little bit, and had to check up. And I was able to get on by him, and Landon came in.
Landon Harrison.
And of course, he's a phenomenal driver. He started 19th, and throughout the race after the caution, I saw the relatives, saw his name pop up, and then it come up and he just continuously ran Mike and I down, and I knew it was just a matter of time. But saving tires as much as possible for when he got up there, hoping that maybe could kind of hang with him for a little while, and it was going to be close there at the end. And he and I got about 2 or 3 laps in, some side-by-side stuff. I got him on a crossover out of 1 and 2, and he was actually getting me back on the crossover out of 3 and 4, but it was the last lap at that point. So it was some really good racing.
I saw you after the race; you were shaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it just from the adrenaline of the race, or the fact that you were racing those guys? Or
it was a both. It was a combination. Just the racing itself. I mean, it gets so intense, but then seeing those 2 names, and you're in the middle of them and out in front of them the way I was, that just completely doubled the adrenaline dump. So it was really something that was cool.
That is cool. So let's talk about your setup. What kind of chassis you got and wheel and pedal set?
I got an Abudo, the G27. I run triple monitors, 24-inch TV screens.
So you were saying you don't know much about
No, I don't get into much of the computer, the graphics cards, the sound cards, the different stuff, some of these guys in here do, and they're talking French to me. So
honestly, I've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of it's French to me too.
Yeah. No, I got my brother's into it a little bit, and he was able to build a CPU for me, and kind of get me started. And then, like I said, just being here last year, I gained so much knowledge that I really knew kind of the direction I wanted to go. Last year when I came out at that point in time, I was just running on my laptop, actually.
Oh, wow.
I actually started out driving a laptop and a joystick.
Wow. So big difference.
Yeah. I graduated up a little bit. But, just being here, gaining that knowledge, it really helped me know where I wanted to go and products I wanted to purchase.
Well, awesome. Well, congratulations again on your first place. You had a pretty stout field to race against, and
yes, it was.
If I was you, I'd be proud. Beating Landon and Michael.
I'm elated right now still, and that was 2 hours ago. I saved the replay, took a picture of of the standings, and shot it to my brother. It's
now you're
great.
going to be on Inside Sim Racing because I'm going to do
awesome
post-race report. I'm going to grab the replays too and put something together about the whole race. So
that'll be great.
Thanks, Gary.
Darren, thank you very much.
Good luck. You're going to run some other sim racing? Now, road race and oval, or just oval?
Yeah, I do. I focus more on the oval. I hadn't really gotten into the road racing as much. It's it's a different animal. So
it is for sure.
But
oval's tough enough just to get a grasp of running so close to each other.
Yes. Yep. So, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, good luck, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for joining me.
Yes, sir.
So their prizes for finishing on the podium were as follows. In 3rd place, Michael Main won $10 in iRacing credits. In 2nd, Landon Harrison won a half-year subscription to iAnalyze Racing. And our winner, Gary Hune, got $100 in iRacing credits. So congratulations to you 3, and thank you so much for the post-race interviews. And congratulations for winning some prizes. And here's the final standings from this event. For the next race, the drivers stayed in the B class or Xfinity Cup car. Fixed setups, by the way, in both those races. And this time they went to Las Vegas, and it was also set for 30 minutes, and it ended up going 43 laps. This race had 20 people start, with two-time iRacing NASCAR champion Ray Alfalla sitting on the pole, with Landon Harrison starting outside on the front row. Ray Alfalla, driving the number 2 car, led the first 8 laps with Landon in the number 89 in tow until the first caution came out when Michael Tochi in the number 77 lost the handle exiting turn 4. At this point, all the leaders came down pit row for their first round of stops and some new rubber. Sean Hall, driving the number 86 car, ended up only taking 2 tires and would come out in front. On the restart, Sean led Ray Alfalla and Landon Harrison as they took the green flag again on lap 13. Sean wouldn't stay up front for long though, as Ray and Landon pushed him 3 wide into turn 3 and 4, and as they came to the stripe, Michael Main in the number 1 car made it 4 wide. Once things settled down, Ray was back out in front with Michael Main now in tow, and Sean was able to maintain 3rd. Things stayed like that for another 10 laps when the second caution flew. This time for some contact between John Clayman in the number 3 and our first race winner Gary Hume driving the number 10 car. Everyone would come down pit road and Sean Hall would take only 2 tires again, as it seemed to work fairly well on the last run. Gary Hume would stay out this time as he didn't take on much, if any, damage, and to see if he could run with the big dogs up front. It wouldn't last long though on those used tires, as Michael Main made a pass for the lead as they started lap 29. At this point, Ray made his way back through the pack and got by Gary the next lap as they entered turn 1. Then on lap 37, as Ray was putting some major pressure on Michael Main, his race would come to an abrupt end due to a connection problem. I'm sure Michael breathed a huge sigh of relief at that point when he saw the 2-time champ was gone from the race. That left Michael Main out front, followed by Landon Harrison and then Sean Hall in 3rd. Landon wouldn't let Michael go without a fight and stayed glued to his bumper. Then the final caution flew on lap 40 when Amjid Yaman in the number 84 made hard contact with the outside wall and forced James Krahula in the number 18 car and Greg Spears in the number 90 to check up, resulting in a handful of cars getting collected in the mess. Since there was no time left in the race, that ended the race under caution with Michael Main taking first, followed by Landon Harrison and Sean Hall. And I caught up with Michael Main after the race, and here's what he had to say about it. Let's talk about this last race. Vegas,
Yeah.
B Cup again. So you had a great battle going with Ray Alfalla.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ray got disconnected.
So there's a story behind that. Like 10 minutes before the race started, I texted me and Greg Spears, David Ankeny, and Gabriel Solis have a group text going. And I texted the group text. I said, Gabe,
Pull the net cable?
pull the cable with like 5 laps to go.
No way.
If Ray is gonna beat me or something. And
He was running you down.
And then at the end, I said team orders. And yeah.
Greg, bring that over here. Yep, here's the text right here. Let's read it. Gabriel, I want you to pull the plug on Ray on the last lap. Team orders. You're horrible, man. So now I'm really wondering if he did it. I was joking that I did it because I was actually filming when it happened. Because it was a great battle,
yeah.
man. He was on you.
Yeah, he was on me. It's so weird because when you're driving that car, if you're the leader, it actually gets tight.
Oh, really?
But the exit gets really loose. So, like, you know, you're tight from entry, mid, and then as soon as you start trying to power out of the corner, it starts wanting to over-rotate. And when I was behind Ray and everybody else, it wasn't doing that. So I was able to get nice, good, hard runs off the corner and felt like I could pretty much do anything. And that before I was leading, I was following Ray, and I felt like I was faster than him.
Yeah, you were giving him a run for his money for sure.
But I think it really boiled down to like the draft, and it just whoever's behind has a slight advantage.
Right, makes sense.
So since it was a timed race, they got down to like 5 minutes to go, and I look up and Ray Alfalla received throughput, fell to an unacceptable level. I'm like, oh my gosh, Gabe did it. So Ray's gone, and I look in the mirror, and there's Landon about 2 or 3 tenths behind me, and he's catching me now because he has the draft, and so I'm just trying to keep him behind me, and luckily a yellow came out with like a minute and a half to go, so I ended up winning. And then right on the caution laps coming to the white flag, I was texting Gabe. I was like, I wasn't serious. Did you really do?
Gabe seems like too nice a guy to do something like that, though.
Well, it turns out he was on the other side of the room and he didn't actually do it. It was Gateway's internet. All day it's been reassigning IPs and people have been getting dropped, so it didn't really happen.
Well, congratulations nonetheless. So that's twice on the podium today. So you going to run any more races tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Cool.
I'll run whatever.
Right on, man.
I'll beat everyone.
Good job, man. Congratulations. Good to see you here again, too,
Yeah.
man. So as you can see, there may have been a little bit of controversy there, and I was actually filming and nobody pulled the plug on Ray, but it was just kind of a funny coincidence that it ended up going down that way. And a bummer for Ray. Man, Ray probably would have, knowing that he's the 2-time iRacing NASCAR champ, he probably would have won that race. So anyway, prizes on the podium for that race were Sean Hall in third, won $10 in iRacing credits. Landon Harrison won another half-year subscription to iAnalyze Racing, so that makes it a full year for Landon. And Michael Main won a Derek Spear Designs button box. So congratulations to those 3 guys for the podium and for winning some prizes. And here's the final standings for this race. And then for the third and final oval race, the guys went back to Las Vegas, this time in the Sprint Cup car. And this race was set for an hour and a half timed or 90 laps. And it would end up going all 90 laps. And unfortunately, it was running late on the last day of the seminar, and I had to get on a plane or get to the airport at 4 in the morning. And we were talking past midnight that this race ended, so I had to go. I didn't really get much footage from the race, but I do have the full replay, and I do have images from the podium. So going to report on it from how I saw it from the replay. David Ankeny in the number 30 would start on the pole, followed by the number 89, driven by Landon Harrison, and David Cater in third. David decided to drop out before the race started, though, due to how late it was and due to the length of the race, so he didn't even turn a lap. The winner of the previous race, Michael Main, started all the way from the back of the grid in 21st. There were 7 total cautions, with the first one flying on lap 1. Coming into turn 2, Tim Knott got his number 41 Chevy SS down on the apron and lost the handle and collected a few cars as he tried to wrangle it in. After the restart, Ankeny would lead the way, followed closely by Harrison as they started to put a pretty good gap on Gabriel Solis in the number 8 car, followed by the number 1 of Michael Main, who made his way all the way to 4th in fairly quick fashion. Sean Hall driving the number 86 followed Michael in 5th. Main made his pass on Solis for 3rd, coming to the stripe at the tail of lap 22. The next caution would then fly on lap 23 as Tom March in the number 24 clipped the wall on the exit of turn 2 and took it hard into the inside wall. Ankeny would lead the field into the pits for the first round of stops. Then, fast forwarding to a restart on lap 40, a few cars stayed out while the field pitted, and starting in second, Michael Tochi in the number 77 car spun his tires as the green flew and mayhem ensued, collecting more than 5 cars. One of the front runners, Landon Harrison, would be caught up in it as well and took on major damage. They must have set things to have a fast reset because Landon went from smoking and bent up to looking like this after a pit stop. And as they say, cautions breed cautions, and right past the halfway point, Ethan Moore in the number 27 also spun his tires on the next restart, starting from 2nd place. Things settled down a bit after that, and that put Ankeny, Main, and Harrison back in a 3-way battle for the win. Then, on lap 62, while in a heated battle for the lead, Main would push up a little into Ankeny and send him spinning down the front straight, bringing out the 5th caution of the evening. I honestly wish I was there for that because I got a feeling that David Ankeny might have been a little upset. He's a pretty boisterous guy, and David was on one side of the room and Michael Main was on the other. I could see David yelling and Michael hearing him all the way across the room, or maybe even clicking up his mic and talking over team chat or voice chat. Then the sixth caution flew as Ankeny tried to make his way back to the front as he was trying to pass the number 39 car of Mark Jabinski. Mark tried to close the door and David made contact with his left rear, sending him into the wall, and collected Tom March in the process. That may have been the sixth or seventh caution. I may have missed one in the middle there because that was the last caution that I had on my replays. So after the pit stops and leading 57 laps early on, Ankeny was back in 8th and would never recover and get back to the front, and ended up finishing 5th. In front of him was Billy Smith in the number 70, who had a great last lap battle to the line with Sean Hall in the number 86 for 3rd. Michael Main in 2nd was about a half-second back of Landon Harrison, who after his mid-race accident won the final 2015 iRace4Life tournament. Here's what the drivers brought home from their podium finishes. Sean Hall won a Derek Spear Designs button box. Michael Main won $100 in iRacing credits. And Landon Harrison won tickets to the Sprint Cup race at Texas Motor Speedway. So congratulations again to you three and for all the finishers of that race, because it was late. I'm sure there was some red blurry eyes after that event. And here's a quick look at the final standings. And I wish I was there for post-race interviews, but as I'd mentioned, I was heading towards the airport almost by that time, and maybe next year I'll schedule things so I can be there for all 7 of the tournament races and get more interviews with some of these guys, because that was actually a lot of fun to do those post-race interviews. Really made it feel like we were at a real racing event. So that wrapped up 2 days of some very intense head-to-head racing. I know a lot of guys walked away happy with their prizes, and I'm sure a lot of guys walked away unhappy due to how things turned out in some of those races, but that's racing. And congratulations to all the guys again who finished on the podium and to everybody that participated. I honestly wish I could have run some races, and next year I'm really hoping to sit down for at least one and join you guys, because you guys seem to have a lot of fun. So I'm really bummed I missed out. Before I go, I'd like to thank Alan Hesbeck for organizing and hosting all of the races. Due to that, he really didn't get to do any racing himself, so he was there just to organize things, writing down the podium finishers for me if I wasn't around, and also saved all the replays for me. All the replay footage was gathered from Alan, and Alan, thanks for that. And thanks to Sion Alford for everything he does to make this event happen. You know, the logistics that goes behind something like this is just unbelievable. You know, everybody had a network connection wired. You know, everybody had full power to power up their rigs, and you know, there was more than 42 rigs set up for people to race with, 5 public rigs. And anyway, catch my full report of the iRace4Life seminar, where you can hear more about what went down and how many rigs were there, and I have some footage of all the different rigs that were set up. So anyway, that's going to wrap things up for this 2015 iRace4Life Oval Racing Tournament recap. I'll be back next year with some more racing and recaps. I definitely plan on going to the seminar, so hopefully you can join us too. And again, watch that full iRace4Life recap if you're interested in coming. I have some information on how you can sign up and be a part of it. So for Inside Sim Racing, I'm Darren Ganji. Hope you enjoyed this coverage. I'll see you guys next time.